you very much for updating us on those views on Japan. Brad Frischkorn joining us. He is an analyst at Thomson IFR. Well, it's been a month now since 8 Eastern European countries plus Malta and Cyprus joined the European Union. Our EU correspondent Ray Franken has been looking at what that has meant for daily life in Brussels.
European institutions have become a very significant economic factor for the Belgian capital. They employ some 40,000 people who together contribute some 7 to 8 billion euros to the Brussels GDP, about 15% of the total. The figure, the number of people employed, is expected to rise by the thousands in the next few years. And offices and homes will have to be found, and also schools for their children. Most people in Brussels work for the European Commission, the executive body of the European Union. Siim Kallas recently joined the Commission as the Commissioner for Estonia.
Biggest impression is the nice neighborhoods and living areas in Brussels, which have been out of such official facilities, and I can tell that Brussels is a very nice town.
If you're looking to make money from European enlargement, the Brussels property market could be the place to look. Some estimates say the number of expats in Brussels will increase by some 50% in the next 10 years. And that means that housing and offices, of course, have to be found for some 20,000 new people. The key in all this is the location of the schools for the Eurocrats, or the Eurobrats. 3 schools are here already, and 2 new ones will be built in the next few years.
There have been a lot of worries about house prices. And certainly in the last enlargement, when the Scandinavians joined, there was an effect on prices. But these expats are not going to have the same kind of spending power immediately as the Swedes, say, did. So I'd say it'll be a number of years before it really starts putting pressure on housing prices in Brussels.
Other business opportunities related to enlargement may be found in a more traditional sector in Brussels. One way to take a look at the contributions that the new European member states are making to life in Brussels could be to take a look at the culinary side. The official guidebooks, though, show that there's only one restaurant from a new European member state, Hungary.
I think it could be very successful. If someone opened a serious Polish restaurant with the wonderful food that we have, it could be a big hit.
And we hope that we will very soon see the opening of a good Czech restaurant with Czech food, because we're very proud of our food. We're very proud of our beer, particularly. We have the biggest per capita consumption in the world, and we always compete with the Belgians, whose beer is better, and we're of course convinced that the Pils coming from Pilsen, from my country, is the best.
There's already a lot of shops and restaurants, things like that, that import British food or import Scandinavian food to expatriates living here, and I imagine that would be a good business opportunity for people from the new member states as well.
Baltic states like Estonia admit they do not have a grand culinary tradition of their own, but the country's new commissioner says it may have other things to offer.
It's possible to have, for instance, an Estonian art shop where Estonian artists can sell their works, and it seems to me that this is a quite big demand for this kind of works, and Estonians can provide very interesting works.
When it comes to the lofty ambition of promoting each other's culture within the European Union, there's a grand tradition among the big member states, such as, for instance, the German Goethe Institute, the Alliance Française, or the British Council. Most of the new European member states, however, do not have the budgets to match such a sophisticated organization. However, the Czechs have made a start with the Czech Center.
The Czech Center is the Czech Cultural Institute in Brussels for Belgium, and we're here since '96 to promote Czech culture to Belgian audiences and to the EU. And to present the Czech Republic as a modern, dynamic and young new EU member state.
It is clear that it will take another few years before Brussels sees the full physical impact of enlargement. However, the psychological effects are already becoming evident.
I think the biggest contribution they've made so far is bringing their enthusiasm for the European Union and for the city of Brussels. I think a lot of people living here for a long time are a bit jaded about European integration, a bit jaded about the institutions, and now it's fantastic to have thousands of new people coming who are just excited to be part of Europe and excited to be living in Brussels.
I think we bring in a lot of fresh enthusiasm, ability to improvise, a lot of energy. We've been waiting for this accession, working on it for 15 years, and I think you will see a lot of young people and with a dynamic attitude, so not set in old ways. So a fresh spirit, I hope.
there'll be a new way of thinking. Poles, you know, they were not brought up in Western Europe, therefore they have a certain, maybe different thinking model around certain issues. And I think it's good, just the diversity, the richness lies in diversity.
The potential for a change in attitude may be the biggest contribution of the newcomers so far. And it may be that fresh wind that could be just what the European Union needs. Raymond Franken, CNBC Europe in Brussels.
The dollar is at a 3-week low against the yen in thin holiday trade. This after the attack in Saudi Arabia increases investor concerns about higher oil prices and increased violence in the Middle East. Where will we see the dollar falling to in the near term? Ben Pedley is a senior currency reporter at the Dow Jones Newswires. He'll join us from Singapore after this break. We'll talk about the currency markets. We'll be back in a moment. You want to get in touch? Squawkbox at cnbceurope.com is our email address.
Our current market share is in the